is my Chevy Chase. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
On today's show, we talk all about the difference between performing in front of a large, massive audience and performing in front of a small audience.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do.
Hey, it's number one best-selling author and motivational speaker, Erik Qualman. Most of you know me as Equalman. Welcome to the Finding Equalman show, where we're looking at the top performers, tips, tricks, life hacks to unlock and unleash your inner superpower. On today's show, I'm going to give you advice that I've learned speaking in 49 countries and reaching 25 million people this decade. Primarily, what's the difference when I get in front of a large audience versus a small audience? No matter what you do in life, at some point you're going to have to give a public presentation or present your idea or present yourself. Now, most of us, the data shows that you'd rather be dead. You'd prefer to die than actually have to give a public speech. People always ask me, do you get nervous before you go on stage? And I always reply, there's two types of speakers. There's those that get really, really nervous, and then there's those that lie. Today I want to focus on the difference between if you're giving a presentation to 3,000 versus you're giving a presentation for 30. Before we get into it, for me, performing in front of a small audience is actually much, much harder to do than performing in front of a massive audience. The reason being is that in that small room, that's very personal. And that, my friends, is actually the big difference between a large audience and a small audience. I like to think about it this way. When I go into a huge audience, think performance that's personal. When I go into a smaller audience, it's personal with performance sprinkled in. Being in front of big groups is easier for me because it's less personal. You can actually be animated, you're amped, you get out there, you have to yell, you have to use energy, you gotta move around. Where if you did that same thing in a small conference room, people are like, whoa, what is up with that guy? Lay off the caffeine. The other difference is while you're on stage performing, you actually should read the audience, but it's really important when you're in a smaller room. You have to read the temperature of the room and adjust accordingly to what you are presenting. So in summary, think about it this way. That small audience is like a dinner party. You're telling stories. Big audience, you're at a massive fiesta, a massive party, and you're letting it all out. That's it for today's Finding Equalman show. We hope today's tip helps unlock and unleash your inner superpower, specifically when it comes to public speaking. Please subscribe below, and remember, until next time, it's not what you take from the world, it's what you leave behind. Hey, it's number one best-selling author and motivational speaker, Erik Qualman. Most of you know me as Equalman. Before I get into it, for me, and everyone's different, but for me, it's actually much easier to give a public performance. Sorry, let me do it again. Before I get into it, for me, presenting. So think about, so what you're saying, Mr. Driscoll, is that what I just said was terrible, but you're gonna fix it with your After Effects. Love it.